The lobby froze when receptionist Tessa Ward jabbed a finger at the black woman who had quietly stepped inside. "Yo, Tsampi in here," she snapped. "This showroom is for real buyers." Before anyone reacted, Tessa grabbed a brochure and tossed it at her feet. "Low-income listings are that way. Don't waste our time." Agents smirked. One filmed, another called security. But the woman didn't move. She opened her bag, pulled out one document, and every face strained. They hadn't insulted a stranger. They'd humiliated the CEO who owned the entire company. The glass doors of Sterling Horizon really slid open with a soft chime as Dr. Camille Roy stepped inside. She carried nothing flashy, no jewelry, no designer bag, no entourage, just a slim folder tucked under her Armand de calm expression that made her look like any ordinary visitor. That was intentional. Today, the CEO of the entire multi-billion-dollar real estate empire had come undercover to see how clients were treated when no one knew who they were. She barely made it 10 steps before the first blow landed. Receptionist Tessa Ward snapped her gum, glanced up, and frowned as if Camille's presence personally offended her. "You're not supposed to be here," she said loudly. "Tours are for qualified buyers only." Camille remained polite. "I'd like to look at new Ridgeview listings." Tessa scoffed. "Yeah, no. Those homes start out even figures. You don't look like someone who can even get approved." She leaned over the counter and grabbed a folded brochure from the bottom drawer. "Here, something more in your range." She tossed it toward Camille's shoes like she was feeding scraps to a stray dog. The room stilled. A group of agents nearby exchanged smirks. One whispered, "Why do they always wander in here?" Camille didn't bend down to pick up the brochure. Her posture didn't change. Her eyes remained steady. Tessa waved her hand dismissively. "Don't stand there like that. Move aside before a real client walks in." At that moment, Senior Agent Mark Dennison appeared, checking messages on his phone. He spotted Camille and stiffened. "Who is she?" Tessa rolled her eyes. "Someone trying to pretend she's in the market." Mark approached Camille with the kind of fake sympathy reserved for someone he assumed was beneath him. "Ma'am, we had issues with loitering. I need to ask you to leave. Security, ICE already on the way." "Security?" Camille asked calmly. "Yes," Mark snapped, "unless you can show proof of funds. And trust me, we're very strict." Around the lobby, eyes widened, not with concern but anticipation. People expected a scene, a meltdown, a confrontation. A junior agent even pulled out her phone, whispering, "Tissa's going viral." Camille took a slow breath. "I only asked to see your Ridgeview inventory." Tessa barked a laugh. "Honey, you won't even get approved for a studio. Let's not waste time." Another agent chimed in. "This isn't a charity office." A few customers, embarrassed by staff's behavior, stepped back quietly, unsure whether to intervene. Noon dared. Tessa leaned forward again. "Last warning. Exit or security escorts you out." Camille finally reached into her bag. The entire group watched, expecting a worthless ID. Maybe some argument, maybe tears. Instead, she pulled out a single sheet of paper and laid it on the counter. Tessa glanced at it. Then her face drained of color. Mark's jaw slackened. 3 agents gasped. The letterhead wasn't from a bank, not from a loan office, not from a legal firm. It was from Sterling Horizon, really corporate headquarters. A confidential executive memo. At the bottom, Dr. Camille Royce, Chief Executive Officer. Tessa stumbled backward. This has to be fake. Camille opened her folder and placed her second document on the counter. Her corporate ID, executive badge, clearance level, SWITE. Mark swallowed hard. "You Dr. Roy?" "Yes," Camille replied softly. "And I spent the last 3 months hearing rumors about customer mistreatment. I came today to see it for myself." The room froze so completely that even the air felt still. Security arrived next, but instead of escorting Camille out, they received a direct call from corporate. The head of compliance demanded to speak to Camille immediately. Within minutes, the showroom manager sprinted into the lobby, red-faced and sweating. "Dr. Royce, I'm so sorry if we had known." Camille held up a hand. "That's exactly the point. Respect should not depend on who someone is." She turned to Tessa. Pick up the brochure you threw. Tessa scrambled to grab it, hands shaking. Now apologize to every person in this lobby, Camille said. Tessa's voice broke. I am sorry, everyone. I made a mistake. You made a decision. Camille corrected a pattern. Corporate HR arrived, flanked by 2 compliance officers flown in from headquarters. They reviewed security footage, customer complaints, and internal messages from the staff Slack channel. The findings were devastating. Racial profiling in multiple threads, mocking client photos, discriminatory jokes, targeting walk-ins based on appearance. Each message appeared on Adawood's screen in full view of the lobby. Agents stared in horror as their own words surfaced. Camille turned to the compliance lead. Proceed point one by one, Tessa, Mark, and 3 senior agents were terminated on the spot. Badges confiscated, access revoked, security escorted each of them out through the lobby, past the same people they had mocked minutes earlier. The entire building watched the collapse like a live courtroom verdict. With the staff removed, the showroom fell silent. Camille addressed everyone remaining, employees and customers alike. What happened today isn't new, but it ends now. This company will not tolerate bias, disrespect, or gatekeeping. We will rebuild this dealership from the ground up. She turned to a young intern, the only employee who hadn't mocked her. What's your name? Jordan, Hugh whispered. You handled yourself professionally. You're promoted effective today. Jordan's hands flew to his mouth, eyes watering. Customers applauded softly. Camille walked toward the exit, her steps calm, steady, unbothered. Reporters gathered outside, alerted by the viral footage spreading across social media. One asked, Dr. Royce, what message do you want this to send? Camille paused at the doorway. That real power, she said, doesn't shout.